Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We've got a great jam-packed show for you. Not only are we going to introduce you to two fabulous authors, but we're also going to introduce you to maybe a forever friend that you want to bring home from Nuzzles because they always have the best adoptable dogs. And then we're going to talk about gut health. This is something that's really important, and especially as we're making our way into the summer. So let's kick off with a look at that local weather forecast right now. June means that we've got to celebrate our dads and our grads. Well, we had a chance to talk to a tech expert on the perfect gift to give this season, so let's take a look.
We've got graduation season in full swing. Father's Day is just around the corner, so when it comes to gift giving, what do we do for those rad dads and cool grads? Well, lucky enough, we've got Mario Armstrong, digital lifestyle expert here to kind of help us out with a little bit of the things that we need to consider before buying those gifts. Good morning, Mario.
Good morning, Kevin. You're absolutely right. I've done my hard work, so we don't need ties. And we don't need leaf blowers or lawn mowers or anything like that. I got you covered. I partnered up with some great brands for some other gift ideas for inspiration for those dads and grads out there.
Well, now, with all the tech is the craze still. What is out there right now to kind of feed that tech need?
Ooh, this new laptop from HP. This is really a golden gem right here. This is the HP Omen Transcend, O-M-E-N. It's a 14-inch gaming laptop. It's an ultra lightweight device, really great to travel anywhere. It's got a powerful Intel Core Ultra processor, stunning NVIDIA graphics, has advanced cooling system, long battery life, and it's got a USB-C fast charge, which is great. You can also complement this, if you're into gaming specifically, with the HyperX Cloud 3. These are wireless gaming headsets. It's great for the gamer in your life. It's got precise 3D sound during those games or even watching movies. No dongles, no menus, just better gaming right out of the box with that. And HP also is helping us with something that always seems to fail on us at the wrong possible time, and that is our printers. You know the deal with this, Kevin. We always run out of ink or something when we need it most. The HP All-In plan is a low monthly payment plan where you get a brand new printer, automatic ink delivery, continuous printer coverage, and 24/7 live support. Plans start at only $6.99 a month with no upfront costs, and you can try it for 30 days risk-free. What's really cool is that it's got the built-in smart tech. So when your printer runs low on ink, it will ship you fresh ink before you run out, which is really great. Shows up at your house. Cool, super cool.
Well, it takes that thinking process out of all of it, and what a great backup plan. You're there, you're kind of leasing that machine, so if something goes wrong, they're there to help you out. Now, Mario, how about some things, if you're on a budget and need to buy a gift, any ideas as far as that goes?
Yeah, so there's two things. Right now is a great time to buy. The next time you're going to see good deals is going to be at back to school time, so that August, September timeframe. So if you want to take advantage of those great deals and even get more cash back, then use the PayPal app. This is the best way to shop smart. You can shop at your favorite brands through the app like Best Buy, Ticketmaster, Walmart, and so many more. You do this right on your mobile device, and those cashback offers will be automatically applied when you check out. And if you want to take it a step further, you can even get more rewards by using the PayPal Cashback MasterCard, which will earn an additional 3% cashback on all of those eligible purchases as well. So this is a smart way to do it on a budget. It's already there. They already got the deals. Just use the PayPal app to go through.
Wow, what a great deal there. Now, I can't help but notice that Lego set next to you. I just got back from the Indianapolis 500. I've got
Ooh,
a
lucky
friend of
you,
mine,
man.
Pato Award, that races for McLaren, the Aero team.
What?
And that looks exactly like his car.
You are spot on. You got this is the segment and the moment for you. This is great for car enthusiasts, racing fans, and people that love to create and build using the Lego brand. So this is the Lego Technic McLaren Formula One race car. It is a unique collaboration between Lego and McLaren Racing. It's got moving pistons, working steering, suspension, and a differential. It really mirrors the real car. It's even got the sponsor stickers on here to really give that authenticity to it. It's an immersive project, super stunning display piece. You don't build this, take the time to build this, and then put it in the back room. You sit this in the living room or put it right on the centerpiece of the dining room table. Like, this is a conversational piece, and people that love to build or create or are into racing are gonna love this.
Well, Mario, I thank you very much for your time. Where else can we go for some more ideas?
Just go to our website. We got all the details there. You can see everything close up, plus the pricing. Go to inthenews.tv.
Mario, thank you so much. You have a great day, and I appreciate all those great gift ideas.
We love talking to so many great authors. Well, there's a great book out, and it's called Frida the Frog and the Two Mamas Next Door. And we're going to talk to the author about what inspired this book. Now, Frida the Frog has gone on some life tribulations, and it's a great way to help explain these moments to your kids. So let's introduce you to Frida the Frog.
There's a lot of great books out there to read, whether you're talking about health, well-being, if you're talking about self-help kind of things. And my next guest, Nadine Harouni, is an author, and her style of books is geared more for children, but the way I look at it, it's more about well-being and real life experiences. Good morning, Nadine.
Good morning. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you. We were just chatting briefly before the show, how you'd been on a few years ago, and it's so nice to have you back.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be back.
So your series of books, again, children's books is kind of the category they go in, but when I've gone through and looked at Frida the Frog, and then you've got a new one coming in, the Hat Diaries book, all of these are related to real life experience and those difficult conversations that we may need to have with our children and maybe even with each other. What was your inspiration?
Exactly. So the Frida the Frog series, it is geared for children, but it's meant to also be tools for parents and teachers and psychologists to open up a door to conversations that might be uncomfortable or difficult, reminding kids that families look different and that no family is any less special. So the inspiration for me was me going through all of the situations that Frida and her family went through with my kids and not really knowing how to approach the topic or start the conversations with them.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question on, with most authors, something very close to the heart really inspired this. And I know with your family, because you've got a blended family and some things like that, and the LGBTQ+, how did those experiences really get you into writing these, and how did you craft your book?
So when me and my children, when we went through a divorce, I didn't feel that there were any wonderful books out there that really spoke to kids in a way that wasn't scary for them. So that was the inspiration for releasing, and I just brought the cover to show you, Frida the Frog Gets a Divorce. And then we became a blended family, and we didn't necessarily look like a traditional family. Some of the kids looked like me, some of the kids looked like my husband. So I thought it was a good way to broach the topic of diversity. And that was the inspiration for Frida the Frog and her new blue family. And then we moved from Manhattan to a suburb, and it was difficult. And my kids had to deal with changing schools, changing houses, and any kind of life change is scary, not only for children, but for I think many adults as well. So that inspired me to write Frida the Frog is on the Move. And then unfortunately, we lost my grandma, Helen. And that was the first time my kids dealt with losing somebody that they loved. And I wrote Frida the Frog Says Farewell to Her Fish, where the family loses a pet fish. And it's just reminding kids to remember the good times you had with that person or that pet. And then lastly, Frida the Frog and the Two Mamas Next Door. That one wasn't really so much as based on family or personal experience as it was, I felt an important topic topic to get out there, because when we moved from Manhattan to the suburbs, there was actually only one gay family we knew in our town. One of my children's friends had two dads. And I just thought that it would be nice to remind kids that there might be other families, not only with a mom and a dad, but there could be two moms, there could be two dads, there could be a single parent household. And it's just reminding kids that parenting comes in many different forms.
I love it. That is so inspirational and just helps through some of those, like you said, difficult conversations and some real life things that are going on. Is there anything that you see for Frida the Frog that's going to expand into some more outside the 5-book series?
There is. As Frida and her family are going to meet other frog families and go through other situations, I sort of put it on hold a little because I'm working on my fantasy adventure trilogy, The Hat Diaries, but I'm planning to write future Frida books covering topics such as adoption, a primary parent going back to work, dealing with any kind of major illness or disability. So again, these are all topics that are very real life based and meant to remind kids that they're not alone.
Now, in one of the Frida the Frog books, there's 3 little tadpoles, Franny, Frank, and Jack. Do those tadpoles have any of the personalities that maybe your children have?
Little. they're a little. No, I'm just joking. They're slightly. There's a couple of characteristics, and most of the characters are based loosely. The names are also hidden names, such as Jack is based on my son Jake, and Samson is for my daughter Samantha. And my mom is the OF, original Frida, so that's who the series is named after.
Oh, that's awesome. Now let's talk a little bit about the other series, The Hat Diaries. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. So I brought the first book, which was released in October, is The Hat Diaries is the name of the series, and it's called The Secret Life of Ryan Rigby. It's meant to be for anyone who likes adventure books, fantasy adventure from age 8 through adult. It's technically middle grade fantasy adventure. And and anybody who probably likes the Harry Potter series would probably enjoy this. It talks about a story about a young boy who's 13 who his mom gets a job at a hat factory, and he starts taking home different hats from the hat factory and putting them on before he goes to bed at night. And in his dreams, which he calls adventures, which are very realistic, he becomes the role of the hat wearer. So he becomes a magician, he becomes a firefighter, he becomes a police officer, safari guide. He has many different adventures, and at the same time he's dealing with the loss of his dad, and he meets an older man, Merlot, who becomes sort of a mentor to him. So his real life unfolds in alternating chapters with these adventures he has, and certain things happen that by the end of the book you really don't know what's real and what's fantasy.
Oh, that sounds remarkable. I can't wait to look at those. Thank you so much, Nadine. Now, where can people go to buy these books?
I'm so glad you asked. They can go to NadineHaruni.com. That's all one word, NadineHaruni.com. They're also available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, anywhere books are sold.
I appreciate you joining me today on Good Morning Vail, Nadine. We're going to be sure to check back to you to see that Frida the Frog series and how that goes, along with the Hat Diaries on some of that fantasy type, but somewhat realistic books that you've got coming out. Thank you for this series. Is a lot of advice, enlightenment, and the many challenges that we face day to day.
Another great book on the market is Everyday Dharma, and this is a great book to maybe help you with your mental health. And that's really important that as we're making our way into the summer season, if you're someone who's a winter athlete and is maybe a little bit sad that the snow is gone, well, this book might help you. So let's introduce you to the author.
Welcome back. We are joined now by Sunil Gupta. Sunil, you are the author of Everyday Dharma. It's a book that I absolutely love. I've been following your work for a long time, and we're going to chat all about your book, but I want to talk a little bit about you. You've had an amazing career, lots of ups and downs, huge success with your app Rise, and some failures. Can we start with this story that I just love? You used to call yourself the poster child for failure. What is that about?
Well, the New York Times did an article in 2014 on people who fail, and my face was the cover of this article. And the story of Ija, believe it or not, it goes viral. And there was a point in time when you could have Googled the word failure. Like, that's it, just the word failure. And my face, it would have been your top search result. And so a mentor of mine convinced me not to be too embarrassed by the article, but to use it. And what I did is I started reaching out to all these people that I admired. And from Oscar-winning filmmakers to celebrity chefs to leaders of large iconic companies, professional sports teams. And I would say, hey, as you can see from this article, I don't know what I'm doing. Would you be willing to give me some advice? And that was 10 years ago. And for the past 10 years, what I have been doing is I've been studying, some of the most exceptional people on the planet who have achieved the top of their game, but at their worst moments, to understand how they got from the bottom all the way back up to the top.
Yeah, and pretty much everybody that we know of that is successful has been through failures. It's just part of it. So
It's all
thank you
part of life.
for normalizing that and having a sense of humor about it. It's such an inspirational story. I love it. Let's talk about the book, Everyday Dharma. So what is Dharma? What is the book about? And tell us a little bit about the inspiration for the book.
Yeah, Dharma is who you are plus what you do. And what I found is that for myself and for so many other people, we can lose touch with that part of ourselves. And I wanted to write a book that really was about how do we find this essence that all of us have, and how do we start to express that to the world. The person who first introduced the idea of Dharma to me was my grandfather. It was on a porch in New Delhi, and he pointed me to the center of an Indian flag. And at the center of the Indian flag, if you look at it, there's a navy blue wheel. And that is the wheel of Dharma. And what he said to me is that as we grow older, that wheel will continue to spin faster and faster. We'll have more commitments, we'll have more obligations, and it's so easy to find yourself caught at the outside of the wheel. And the trick of it is not to prevent that from happening because it's only natural. But the trick of it is to be aware of when that has happened so that you can bring yourself back to the center.
And this wheel that you talk about, there's 8 teachings of Dharma in the wheel. Am I right?
There's eight teachings in the book. Yeah.
Yeah, and you go through each one. I absolutely love it. Talk to me a little bit about arrival fallacy. That's something you talked about in the book, and I think it's so important.
Yeah, so the arrival fallacy is a term that was coined by Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, who was at Harvard. He's now at Columbia University. And what he said is that we all sort of feel, we've been conditioned to believe that we're going to reach this moment of arrival in our lives, where we have enough money, we have enough status, we have enough success, that we're going to finally feel complete. We're going to finally feel fulfilled. But that never quite happens, does it? And we hit a goal, we hit a milestone, and then the goalpost moves again, and it moves again, and it moves again. Now, that's not all to say that we shouldn't have goals in life. Goals are important, but it's more to understand that our happiness, our joy, isn't necessarily coming from the completion of hitting goals, but it's coming from what happens between where we are right now and the goal itself. And so we have to choose things that really do make us come alive. That is part of happiness when it comes to work, when it comes to how we bring joy to what we do. And it also has to do with how we actually serve ourselves and others in the best way. Because, look, when we're having fun with what we do, when we actually enjoy what we do, we do it better.
Yeah. And speaking of enjoying what we do, my favorite one of the teachings is Leela, which it translates to high play, which basically means make your work your play and your play your work. Wasn't that a quote by Phil Jackson or somebody?
That's right. Yeah, Phil Jackson.
And I feel so lucky for my job. I always say I get paid to have fun and enjoy myself because I get to meet people like you. I get to talk to people. I get to go out and have fun. Enjoying your work is so important. How can people bring Leela into their life more?
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing, Abhijah, is that you don't have to have a job as a television broadcaster in order to bring Leela and play into your life. Sometimes just simply asking ourselves the question, how do we have fun with what it is that we're doing right now? Like just asking yourself that question will start to invite more of a sense of play into your life and into your work. The great mountain climber Alex Lowe was once asked, who are the best mountain climbers in the world? And his answer was, it's simple. It's the ones who are having the most fun. And sometimes we have been conditioned to believe that fun and work are sort of these two separate worlds that are not to be combined. But when we look at the research and we start really digging into what it means to be great at anything you do, no matter what your job is, we find that the people who are doing the best are the ones who are inviting a little bit more of a sense of play into their lives.
I love that. And you've had a very successful career, like I mentioned. I mean, you were a speechwriter, you worked in Washington, D.C., you've done so much. Are you living your Dharma?
I am. I am. It took me a while to get here,
Uh-huh.
but there were two questions that really I think helped me get to a place of understanding who I am. And those two questions were, the first one was, if it was impossible to fail, what would I do? And that question helped me understand what my wildest goals were in life. But the second question, which I think is even more important, is what would you do even if you did fail? Because I think if you can answer that question, then you know that you're after something that is really appealing to your deepest desire. It's your deepest love. Like if you look at a musician, for example, a musician, obviously, most of them want to build great audiences. They want to have lots of fans. They want to maybe make money, have status, success. But they're going to play music no matter what, even if all of that stuff wasn't true, because they love the music. And so I think for us to really discover our Dharma, we have to ask ourselves not only just what would we do if it was impossible to fail, but what would you do even if you did?
And what was the answer to that first question when you asked yourself that?
Oh, it's interesting, Abhijit, because for me, the answers of both questions kind of led me to one place, which is I love to study exciting stories, people who have, reached the top of their game, but to understand sort of what they were like when they were at their worst. So what were the best of the best like when they were at their worst? Because I think that that's where we learn the most. Like when I sat down with Bill Gates, for example, one of the things he told me is that success is a lousy teacher, right? Success is wonderful, but it doesn't teach us as much as failure does. And if we can study people in the moments where there were setbacks, where there were mistakes, where there were accidents, slip-ups, that's where we start to learn the most. And so that is my passion. I go out there, I study people who are, doing really exciting things, but I sort of rewind the clock to the moments when things were not going their way to understand how they behaved in those moments, because I think that's where we can learn the most.
It's hard to imagine that somebody like Bill Gates had failures, but I presume he did, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Along the way of building Microsoft, but even after Microsoft became a big company, if you look at the way the stock performed, it had lots of ups and downs. Even if you look at the work that he does around his foundation, I mean, one of the things that I was surprised to find out is like, he talks a lot more about the failures, the things that did not work, because he holds those in just as high regard. You have to go through these failures in order to understand what doesn't work. And so it's just part of the process. And I think that really is the key differentiator, I think, of people who are able to reach their potential in life, is that for them, like the failures, the setbacks, it's all just part of the process. In fact, in some ways, it's a speedier part of the process because you learn a lot more, you get a lot of more growth, and I think you also develop more of a sense of resilience during those moments as well, which we know serves us in every other part of our life.
I love that because so many people probably they experience a failure or rejection and then they think they're not good enough and they want to give up. But if you understand the stories of all these successful people, that everybody's gone through it, that it can be really inspiring. And I want everybody to go out and get the book Everyday Dharma because it is so inspiring. I love it because this is a lot of wisdom that you bring is from ancient texts like the Bhagavad Gita, correct?
Yeah,
so I
that's
love
right.
hearing these stories. You bring ancient wisdom, but put it into modern times and modern examples. So that's a really amazing book. It just page turner.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I mean, I think one of the things that was constantly surprising me by writing the book is that a lot of, modern day science in some ways is catching up to ancient wisdom, which I know sounds a little weird to say, but we are finding that there's a lot of things that we are kind of coming to right now with ideas around equanimity and finding comfort in the discomfort, all the things that I think are urgent of our time right now with all the stress and exhaustion that everybody feels. There's a lot of science that is proving out what I think we have known for thousands of years. And so this book aims to marry both of those things together.
I love it. Thank you so much, Sunil, for taking the time to talk to us today. The book is called Everyday Dharma. Go out and get it. And we'll talk to you soon, Sunil. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
week, I had the chance to catch up with Josh from Nuzzles and meet lovely Sandy. Now, you're going to want to bring Sandy home because it's her birthday, and what a great birthday present you could give her. Also, Park Silly Market, you can go and meet the lovely dogs that they're going to have there tomorrow, so make sure that you check that out. But let's introduce you to Josh and Sandy right now. The best thing in the world is having a furry companion, and Josh from Nuzzles & Co. might have found the perfect one for you, and that's Sandy. Good morning, Josh and Sandy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm in love with that sweet face. Look at those big, huge ears.
Look at you. Can you say hi to everybody?
Oh my goodness. What
Give a little
a
eye movement.
sweetheart. Oh, big yawn. Big yawn, first thing in the morning.
So,
I feel that, Sandy.
Sandy's a new dog to us. She came from Summit County Animal Control, I think just either yesterday or the day before. And based on the birthday we were given, today is her 4th birthday. So happy birthday, Sandy. She's probably a beagle mix is what we're guesstimating around here. But the reality is with a lot of these rescues, we just don't know.
She is very pretty, and happy birthday, Sandy. 4 is
Come
the
here.
perfect age to adopt a dog because they still have so much life left, but they're not in that horrible chewing up everything in your world puppy phase.
Totally. I'm with you on that. I think puppies bring a lot of challenges to a home, and adult dogs, especially as this age, is so perfect because they're gonna do so many wonderful things with you and add so much to your home. Are you getting wiggles?
And she's like,
Oh,
I
you've
like
never
this,
done this
but
before.
I'm a wiggler. I'm just moving around. Now, since she's brand new to the rescue, if people are interested in bringing her home, what's the process look like for that?
So we have an adoption application. So when you Google Nuzzles & Co. and go to our website, you can type in her name. So Sandy will come up, and when you click her picture, you'll be able to start filling out the application. Once we approve the application, oh, hi, baby. Then we move on to the contract, which is basically making everything official here. A couple of the questions we ask that we really look for, what's your living situation? Are you allowed to have a dog? Are you an owner or renter? Some important things like that. And then we have a couple red flag questions that we just kind of look for as adopters that are educational opportunities for us.
Which I think is so important because as you are adopting these dogs to their forever homes, it's important that you vet them out, and that way you're finding them the perfect home.
Yes, totally. We're finding out she's very treat motivated.
These are good
She
little
actually was wearing a
lessons.
cone when I brought her into my office today. So she had just had surgery yesterday to be spayed. So this is my first time interacting with her without a cone. And I think she's a little bit liberated right now, which is why she's running around the office going, this is pretty cool. And let's get her back up in the frame for a treat. Come here.
Sandy, come here.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
there she is. Look at those ears.
Hi.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at you. Are you so pretty? Oh, look at you.
Oh, she is so pretty. And her pink collar. Oh, she's like, more treats, please. More
Oh,
treats, more
hi.
snuggles.
Oh,
my
yes. Are you a
goodness.
pretty girl?
And
Oh,
some,
yes,
some
you
great kisses, too. Aw. I want Sandy kisses to start my morning.
Okay, we'll get you another treat.
Yeah, she's excited about those treats. She's all in, and it looks like she's one of those puppies who loves to be loved. So she would be great for a home that could just give her the utmost love.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we've tested her with like kids or cats or anything yet, so I can't speak to any of that stuff. But in the little time I've spent with her, she's really sweet, and yeah, I think she's gonna make somebody really happy. She's a great dog.
Now, if someone is brave enough to maybe want to conquer the puppy phase of existing with a small dog or a dog of any size, that's something you guys also offer.
Yeah, I mean, we're constantly doing rescue. I mean, every week we're intaking new animals, cats, kittens, puppies, adult dogs,
Goats.
and we're pulling from our local shelters. So we pull from like Draper, we pull from Summit County, just your surrounding municipal shelters that are overcrowded because we want to make sure that animals aren't euthanized for space. The other place we pull from is, and I think a lot of people know this, is the Uinta Reservation and the Navajo Reservation. And honestly, that's where we get most of the puppies that come to us is The guesstimation for Navajo Nation alone is that there's somewhere between 250 and 500,000 dogs out there that aren't fixed and they're just out there breeding. So we rescue the mothers, the puppies, and the sick and the injured and bring them here and give them the best treatment that we can and then find them homes from there.
Which is so incredible. And then as you guys are bringing these puppies in, you are doing all of their medical work. So they're going to have all their shots. They're going to be microchipped. They're going to be spayed and neutered. That way when people get to take home one of the Nuzzles & Co. beautiful little furry creatures, they're ready to go. They don't have to worry about anything.
It's very true. Yes, we do a full medical assessment. We treat any issues if there are any. So there are some dogs that we've literally spent thousands of dollars on. Maybe they needed a surgery on their hip or something like that, or some teeth pulled. We take care of all those things in addition to spay, neuter, microchip, and shots. So when you pay the adoption fee, it's a donation of sorts, but it doesn't nearly cover the amount of treatment and care that we put into these animals. So a lot of love goes into this and a lot of care. And we have an amazing vet team who really they give some of the best care I've ever seen. So
That's true, because I'm going to say that my small puppy Rupert got neutered up there and you guys did a fantastic job. He came out of it. He was a nice little drowsy nugget and then he was totally good to go. So your team is incredible.
Yeah, they're awesome. Sorry,
Now-
I'm soaking up some dog love right now.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, if I got to start my morning just getting all sorts of dog kisses all the time, that's exactly what I would do too. Now, you guys also have cats that people can adopt and bring home. So give us some more information on how people might get their hands on a kitty.
So in addition to coming to our adoption center, where most of our cats are, you can actually also stop at Park Cities, Petco, Sugar House Petco, or Pet Supplies Plus in Lehigh if those places are closer to you. Those retailers have cats and condos as well. You meet a cat that you love, similar process, fill out the application, fill out a contract, and then we send you home with a lovely new addition to your family.
Now, maybe someone has a dog at home that they've had for a long time and they just want to maybe see what it's like to bring home another dog. They can also foster through you guys and foster to adopt, which I know a lot of people who foster, they foster fail and then they keep the dogs. And so what's the foster process look like?
So for fosters, we have an application on our website, so nuzzlesandco.org, how to get involved. That goes to our director of operations, and then when we get different animals in, she contacts her foster network to say, hey, we've got 3 cats that need place to grow until they're big enough to be spay and neutered. So really kittens, puppies, and then some of our adult dogs that need a break from the ranch if they've been here for a couple of weeks. Those are the other foster opportunities. And really fostering is one of the most important things. It's teaching an animal what it's like to live in a home. And some of these animals, especially when we get res dogs and things, maybe have never stepped foot inside a home. So it's a crucial step in getting them really adoptable.
Now, Josh, you guys also take donations. That way you can help stay being the great nonprofit that you are. So if people want to get involved in that aspect, what's the best way for them to do so?
You can either contact me with an email at josh@nuzzlesandco.org, or you can stop by. You can go to our website. There's a donate button there. We take donations of food, treats, beds, money. There's even ways people can donate cars, property, stock, all that stuff. So if it has value, we'll take it and help fund us because we are a private organization. It costs a couple $1 million a year to rescue animals and help do the spay neuters and all the other programs that we have to help the community. Tomorrow, though, is also the first Park Silly of the season. And one of the exciting things, in addition to us being there with puppies, is we've been making some art with the animals. So we're going to be selling some custom art made by our animals at our table.
Which is incredible, and people should just come and get to spend some time with you and meet you, and then, of course, love on the puppies.
Of course. I mean, the loving on the puppies helps socialize them, and it's just a wonderful, mindful thing to do for yourself in the first place.
Josh,
Hi,
we want to
kiddo.
thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, introducing us to Sandy. Happy birthday to Sandy. I hope that you guys are giving her some extra treats today. Now, one more time, what's the website where people can get all this great information?
So it's nuzzlesandco.org. That's nuzzlesandco.org. lots of information there.
Yes, Josh, thank you so much.
Always a pleasure to have to see you and be here.
Make sure that you check out Nuzzles & Co. and that way you can bring Sandy home and introduce her and make her part of your forever family. And that would be the best birthday surprise, is for her to get her forever home. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. Not something that you think about every day is hair loss in women. Well, Kevin had the chance to sit down and chat with Philip Kinsley to talk about what you can do to maybe help prevent that. So let's hear what they have to say.
We have the honor today of having Annabelle Kingsley, the brand president and consultant trichologist at the iconic hair brand Philip Kingsley. Good morning, Annabelle.
Good morning, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, your father, Philip, I believe, started this back in what, 1967?
Yes, yeah, many, many years ago. He started this company from a very small consulting room in London, England, and since then it has grown into a global brand with clinics in London and New York.
Now, you are a trichologist. Can you explain to the viewers exactly what that is?
Yes, the question I am asked all the time. So trichology is the scientific study of the hair and scalp. So as trichologists, we take a really holistic approach to hair and scalp health, looking into everything from diet, stress levels, genetics, general health, and how those things can impact your hair and scalp. And we help with all manner of concerns. So from things like common dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis, psoriasis, to all the different types of hair loss that people can experience.
Now, Annabelle, there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what really causes hair loss. Is it genetic? Like, can wearing hats cause hair loss?
Yes, there are many, many myths out there about the hair, I guess, and also about the scalp, because you can't see it. So do hats cause hair loss? That is a myth. In order for a hat to cause hair loss, it would have to be so tight that you'd actually pass out before it had any impact on your hair growth cycle, although I suppose the wrong one could cause some breakage. There are so many different types of hair loss. So yes, some are genetic. So male and female pattern hair loss or hair thinning, that is genetic. And it causes a slow and gradual reduction in the volume of hairs on your scalp. But then there's another really common type of hair loss that's actually more common in women than it is in men, called telogen effluvium. That's when you're seeing too many hairs coming out on a daily basis, when you shampoo, when you brush your hair, and when you style. And this isn't genetic at all. It can happen to anyone. And it's a reactive type of hair loss. So it's due to an underlying deficiency or imbalance. Hair is incredibly sensitive to general health because it isn't an essential tissue, at least physically, psychologically, definitely it is. So whenever something is off with our general health or our diet or our stress levels are too high, it can have a really profound impact on the hair growth cycle and the way in which our hair grows.
Nice. Now, in the store, occasionally I'll get lost and I'll end up on the shampoo aisle, which obviously I don't need. But is the certain kind of shampoo, does that have anything to do with hair loss?
That is a really great question. So shampooing generally, so keeping your scalp clean. Remember, your scalp is skin. You take it to the same places as the skin on your face. So keeping your scalp clean is really important for overall hair health. But in terms of hair loss, unless your hair loss is being caused by a scalp condition like dandruff, there is no such thing as a hair loss shampoo. Hate to break it to you, but it's just not left on your scalp for long enough. You're applying it to a dilute environment, so to hair or scalp that's saturated in water. And also a shampoo has to contain lots of other active ingredients to do the job of cleansing. So any hair loss actives in a shampoo will be competing with all of those other ingredients. So really the most effective treatment is one that is just geared towards treating hair loss. And those will be either topical products, the ones that you apply to your skin that you leave on for an extended period of time. And there are also pills that people can take for certain types of hair loss that can help.
Okay, so there is some reversal that can take place if someone is suffering with hair loss.
Yes, it depends on the type of hair loss. So male and female pattern hair loss, which is the most common type of hair loss that people experience, that is definitely manageable, and sometimes it's reversible, but usually you can see a good amount of regrowth. But if you are someone who has lost all your hair, treatment isn't going to work because you do have to have functioning hair follicles there in order to get some regrowth. With telogen effluvium, so excessive daily hair shedding, that's always reversible. And once you find the underlying cause and you treat it, your hair will grow back as before.
Very nice. So to minimize the appearance, what can guests do or the viewers do from the Philip Kingsley Group to kind of help regain that hair growth, regain that appearance, or possibly even the confidence that comes along with having hair?
That's such a good point about confidence, because when you're losing your hair, it can have such a profound impact on the way that you feel about yourself. And any treatment for hair loss does take time. Hair only grows half an inch a month, and the hair growth cycle has different stages. So you need to wait a minimum of 3 months and up to 6 months to see results. But in that interim period, there's plenty that you can do to give your hair the immediate appearance of more body and volume. So you can use volumizing shampoos from our range. We have an excellent one called bodybuilding shampoo. You can use volumizing styling sprays. You can use hair fibers to disguise any areas of thinning. And you can do those things while you're waiting for your treatment to work. And in terms of treatments, it really, again, depends on the type of hair loss. I'm sure a lot of people watching have heard of minoxidil or Rogaine, and this can be very effective, but it's for male and female pattern hair loss, but it wouldn't do anything for telogen effluvium. So if you think that you are losing your hair, it's really important to see a trichologist or a dermatologist so that we can really ascertain exactly what's going on. So at our clinics, we do blood tests, we take a full medical history, dietary history, we ask you about your lifestyle and stress levels, and then we cater your treatment plan specifically to you. And sometimes that can involve topical minoxidil, and sometimes it's literally a case of kind of changing the way you eat or taking a specific nutritional supplement.
Well, Annabelle, where can our viewers go to find more information?
So we have a really comprehensive website, philipkingsley.com, and it has a great hair guide on there that goes through all different types of hair loss, their causes and how to treat them. And we also have a clinic in New York that people can reach out to if they want to find out more.
Well, I appreciate your time today and sharing all this information with us, and we will definitely get back and check that out. I know I'm going to be a candidate for sure.
Okay. Lovely speaking to you.
Have a nice morning. Thank you.
Your gut health is something that you could often neglect, and it's really important that you start to focus on that. That way you have a better quality of life. Well, there's a way that you can transform your gut health through nutrition, and we're going to teach you just how to do it.
Here in the mountains, we always look to get out there, get healthy, exercise, do those things that we think are going to get us in optimal health. Well, I've got Maya Feller, registered dietitian, that's joining us today, and it's not always about that physical exertion. There's a lot internally that we need to consider. Good morning, Maya.
Good morning, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's going inside our bodies that we need to worry about and we need to focus on.
Yeah, so when we're thinking about gut health, just as you said, what we put in really has a massive impact. And our gut is the largest immune mediator in our body. When I say that, Kevin, I mean that the foods that we eat have a direct impact on our brain health, our eye health, our heart health, our mood, cognition, and so much more. So we really want to nourish those good bugs with the food that helps them help us express our best health possible.
So I guess that old saying, oh, I've got a feeling in my gut about that, is actually true.
Yes, it totally is. So much happens in the gut, right? Gut feelings, gut health. We could go on and on.
Well, let's get into those foods, because I know, like you said, what we put in is what we get out of it. So what kind of foods should we be looking at?
So, Kevin, I want folks to think about this. There's a whole bunch of bacteria that's in there. If we feed that bacteria lots of added sugar, added salts, and saturated and synthetic fats, we're actually going to decrease the diversity of the good bugs that are in there. And what we rather want to do is focus on nourishing those good bugs, feeding them fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, seeds, all of those fiber-rich foods that they love to actually eat in the gut. I know it sounds creepy, but it's really true. The good bacteria wants that nourishment.
Now, MyFitnessPal offers a lot of great education and resources. Let's talk a little bit about that and how we can use that.
Absolutely. MyFitnessPal is a wonderful food and nutrition tracking app. And what it does is it allows users to have an awareness of the foods that they're eating over time. They have introduced a free food feature, Food Group Insights, so users can track and log over the course of a week, and they actually have an output that's categorized by food group. So let's say you're trying to meet a particular fiber goal, it's going to give you individual insights for yourself. Now, maybe you're thinking about recipes. MyFitnessPal offers gut health recipes. There's a whole collection featuring high fiber recipes and a variety of fruits and vegetables. There's also a gut health nutrition plan, and this is really great for members who are looking for a plan that's going to help them learn the importance of high fiber foods as they relate to gut health while making gut health friendly swaps and reducing their added sugar intake.
Now, Maya, I love this because there's so much that goes into it, and it sounds like MyFitnessPal is not a one size fits all. You can personalize it based on who you are, your lifestyle, male, female, weight, all those kind of variables.
That's exactly right. It's customizable. And one of the things that I love about the app is that you're actually in community. So you know that you're with other people who have similar desires and goals around education. And MyFitnessPal does a beautiful job of helping you to think about what foods do you want to add to your pattern of eating that are supportive of your gut health.
Now, how quickly can someone start to see results? Say they start MyFitnessPal and they get into the routine. What is the result base? Everybody wants these quick time results, but I think with MyFitnessPal, that's going to kind of give you an idea and track you along the way.
Absolutely, Kevin. So here's the thing that I want folks to remember. This is about long-term sustainable behavior change. This is something that helps you to be accountable to positive health-forward behaviors that are really centered around improving your gut health. It's not a quick fix. It's around giving yourself time, attention, and intention so you're incorporating foods that are really supportive of your desired goals and outcomes.
Now, Maya, with MyFitnessPal, how can we get some more information on how to get connected and get the program started?
Absolutely. So folks can head over to the Apple Store app or the Google Play Store, and they can download MyFitnessPal app there. They can also go directly to myfitnesspal.com for more information.
Wonderful, Maya. Well, I appreciate your time today, affecting the mood, affecting the well-being, that mental health, as well as that physical health. It's about what you put into your body.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you all so much for tuning into your Saturday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We love getting to be here every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to bring you great information about wonderful things taking place in our community. Now, don't forget to go check out Park City tomorrow. That way, maybe you can find your forever friend from Nuzzles & Co. Take control of your gut health. Find the perfect dad and grad gift with that awesome advice that we got earlier. And then, of course, check out those two fabulous books, whether you want to focus on your mental health Or maybe you need to spend some time with Frida the Frog, who's got some great life lessons that she can teach everyone. Those are some great books to check out. We want to thank you again for tuning in. Make sure that you tune in tomorrow for your Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends.